Benjamin Netanyahu, one of the most enduring and controversial figures in Israeli politics, was born on October 21, 1949, in Tel Aviv, a year after the creation of the State of Israel. His family background played a pivotal role in shaping his worldview and political trajectory. His father, Benjamin Netanyahu, was a prominent historian specializing in Jewish history and a strong Zionist ideologue who held deeply nationalist views. His mother, Tzila Siegel, was born in Petah Tikva and was known for her supportive role in raising the family. Benjamin, the second of three brothers, grew up in a household where academic discipline and strong political ideals were emphasized. His older brother, Yonatan, would later become a national hero after leading the daring Israeli commando raid in Entebbe, Uganda, in 1976, where he was tragically killed in action. His younger brother, Ido, pursued a career as a physician and playwright. The family's move to the United States in the 1960s, due to Benjamin's academic appointments, exposed Benjamin to American society and culture, giving him fluency in English and a familiarity with Western values that would later prove invaluable in his political career. From an early age, Netanyahu was influenced by his father's deep belief in Jewish self-determination, the need for vigilance against anti-Semitism, and the imperative of securing Israel's survival in a hostile region. The loss of his brother Yonatan left a permanent mark on his life, shaping his political identity as a leader who consistently emphasized national security and a strong military stance. Netanyahu's educational path reflected both academic rigor and military service, two central aspects of Israeli life. He attended high school in the United States at Cheltenham High School in Pennsylvania, where he was known as BB, a nickname that has stayed with him throughout his life. After returning to Israel, he joined the Israel Defense Forces in 1967, during a period of great national tension leading up to the Six-Day War. He served in the elite Special Forces unit, Sayeret Matkal, where he participated in numerous missions, including operations that involved deep infiltration and counterterrorism. His military career left him wounded on more than one occasion, but it also instilled in him a sense of discipline, resilience, and leadership. Following his military service, Netanyahu returned to the United States, where he pursued higher education. He studied architecture at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology (MIT) before earning a master's degree in management from the Sloan School of Management at MIT. He also briefly studied political science at Harvard. His time in America expanded his worldview, allowing him to interact with policymakers, academics, and Jewish community leaders. During this period, he also worked as a management consultant, sharpening his analytical and organizational skills. Despite his academic and professional success abroad, the pull of Israeli politics and the national cause drew him back to Israel. His early career included working at the Boston Consulting Group and later serving as Israel's Deputy Chief of Mission at the Embassy in Washington, D.C. He also worked with the Jonathan Institute, named after his fallen brother, which focused on the study and prevention of terrorism. This work brought him international recognition as a voice on security issues, making him a familiar figure in American and European policy circles. Netanyahu's political career began in earnest in the 1980s when he entered the Likud party and was soon recognized as a rising star due to his eloquence, charisma, and ability to connect with both Israeli and American audiences. He was appointed Israel's ambassador to the United Nations in 1984, where he served until 1988. His tenure at the UN showcased his skill in defending Israel on the world stage, often in hostile environments where the country faced criticism and isolation. Netanyahu's articulate defense of Israel's right to exist and his forceful condemnations of terrorism made him a prominent figure at home and abroad. In 1988, he returned to Israel and was elected to the Knesset, quickly rising through the ranks of the Likud party. By 1993, he had become the party's leader, positioning himself as the main challenger to the ruling Labour Party. In 1996, at the age of 46, Netanyahu became Israel's youngest ever prime minister, marking a generational shift in the nation's leadership. His first term was defined by his cautious approach to the Oslo peace process, his skepticism of Palestinian leadership, and his emphasis on security. He often clashed with international leaders who pressured Israel for concessions, but he maintained strong ties with the United States, particularly with the Republican Party. His tenure was also marked by domestic political struggles, and by 1999 he was defeated by Ehud Barak, forcing him to temporarily step away from politics. After his defeat, Netanyahu spent time in the private sector, working as a consultant and lecturer, but he remained an influential voice in Israeli politics. He returned as finance minister in Ariel Sharon's government in the early 2000s, where he introduced economic reforms that liberalized Israel's economy, privatized state-owned enterprises, and reduced welfare spending. These reforms were controversial but credited with modernizing the economy and laying the foundation for Israel's later technological boom. Netanyahu once again rose to the leadership of Likud, and after years of political maneuvering, he returned as prime minister in 2009. His second premiership, which lasted for more than a decade, made him the longest-serving prime minister in Israel's history. During these years, Netanyahu positioned himself as a guardian of Israel's security, taking a hard line against Iran's nuclear ambitions and opposing international agreements that he believed endangered Israel's safety. He cultivated close relationships with world leaders, most notably with U.S. presidents such as Donald Trump, under whose administration Israel recognized Jerusalem as its capital and saw the signing of the Abraham Accords, normalizing relations with several Arab states. Domestically, Netanyahu presided over an era of economic growth, technological innovation, and strengthened military capabilities. However, his tenure was also dogged by deep political divisions, repeated elections, and corruption charges that accused him of bribery, fraud, and breach of trust. These legal troubles polarized Israeli society, with some viewing him as a persecuted leader unfairly targeted by political rivals and others condemning him as a corrupt figure undermining democratic institutions. Netanyahu's legacy is one of complexity and contradiction. On one hand, he is admired as a leader who kept Israel secure during volatile times, strengthened its global alliances, and oversaw economic success. On the other, he is criticized for entrenching divisions with the Palestinians, adopting policies that many argue weaken the prospects for peace, and undermining Israel's democratic institutions through his combative style and attempts to maintain power at all costs. His political survival skills have been remarkable, as he has endured challenges that would have ended most political careers. Even after losing power in 2021, he orchestrated a political comeback in 2022, once again reclaiming the position of prime minister, proving his resilience and the deep loyalty he commands among his base. To his supporters, he embodies strength, determination, and an unyielding defense of Israel's security. To his critics, he represents authoritarian tendencies and missed opportunities for peace. Regardless of perspective, Benjamin Netanyahu stands as one of the most consequential leaders in Israeli history, whose impact on his country's politics, economy, and international relations will be studied and debated for generations to come.